Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am.
Nino Brown Boxing, and I'm back in the building. Shout out to the LDBC. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. So I've been listening to some videos that's floating around the LDBC, and the topic of discussion is Errol Spence and him being ducked. And some people are on the side of saying that, you know, guys are scared of Errol Spence, and you have other people on the other side saying that that's not the case. So I've been listening to the videos, and I understand both sides. I truly do. But me putting my own 2 cents in there, me sitting back and being willing to take in others' opinions and different perspectives on the matter, I can only come to one conclusion. These guys are scared to fight Errol Spence. I don't care how you cut it, how you slice it, whatever the case may be. I understand that boxing is a business. I understand that people have different paths. I get it. I understand that, you know, it's different options and different things that happen different ways. I get it. But at the same time, a person, let's just say, I can have a little brother, and it could be a bully down the street. My little brother wants to go fight this bully. Me, I may not allow my brother to go fight him, but my brother has shown the willingness and the desire to go fight this kid. Now, just because I physically don't allow my little brother to, because I hold the power to keep him from doing that, the other kids across the street witnessing all of this go down, they understand that this is not my brother's fault. It's not my brother's fault that the fight isn't happening. It's on me. Now, the reason I use this analogy, because I was listening to Fred from Barbershop Conversation video. I've listened to Black Fight Fan video and on the matter. And to my understanding, so correct me if I'm wrong, Fred was basically saying, you know, different guys have different career paths. Their careers are a business plan that's mapped out, and I get it. They say, like, fans, you know, sports fans are selfish because we want things our way. Well, the reality is, I mean, I'm not an MMA fan, so I don't know how that goes, but I know when it comes to baseball, basketball, football, shit, even soccer, the best have to fight the best. It's no maneuvering around. The Cavaliers can't say they want to play, you know, Team A over Team B because it's a part of their business plan. It doesn't work like that. It's only in boxing when that type of maneuvering can happen. So with that being said, the whole topic when it comes to Shawn Porter and Errol Spence, I don't even talk about Danny Garcia because my respect level for Danny Garcia is pretty much non-existent. Now, Fred said in the video, basically, Errol Spence, he chose to go the IBF route, fact. And when he was waiting in line to get his opportunity at Kell Brook, when Kell Brook went up to fight Triple G and all of this stuff, Errol Spence was out of the ring for over a year. Okay, cool. He said he's basically comparing what Errol Spence was doing, what Errol Spence did, to what Shawn Porter is currently doing. He said what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And the part I disagree. I disagree because the difference is Errol Spence didn't have another option to face a champion under the PBC banner. Shawn Porter does. Keith Thurman was going through multiple injuries. He was busy fighting Danny Garcia, and Porter lost already. Porter had his opportunity for one. Then Keith Thurman was injured like 30 times, and he fought Danny Garcia, and he hasn't been back since. Errol Spence, on the other hand, Errol Spence, for his situation, he was waiting for Kell Brook. He was the mandatory. He didn't have another fighter under the PBC banner saying, hey, Errol Spence, don't wait for Kell Brook. Come fight me for my WBA belt. Come fight me for my WBC belt. Or come fight me for my WBO title. That wasn't Errol Spence's reality. But guess what? That's Shawn Porter's reality. Shawn Porter's waiting around for the WBC, but you got Keith Thurman that's injured. You got Keith Thurman that's saying, well, I'm injured already, and I want a tune-up fight. But Shawn Porter sitting here waiting in line. Yes, that's a similarity. He's waiting. But Errol Spence is willing. He openly said that he will fight Shawn Porter. He will give Shawn Porter a shot at the title. And then, now I heard Kenny Porter say this in interviews, like, well, we weren't ranked by the IBF. Well, last time I checked, Lamont Peterson, when he was holding the WBA regular title, he was not ranked by the IBF. He vacated the belt, and then Errol Spence fought him as a mandatory. Now, unless the IBF has some corruption that I'm just unaware of, then just disregard everything that I'm saying about this situation. But just basing it off of what has actually happened and what I could see as a fan, from my perspective as a fan, Shawn Porter could have taken the same route as Lamont Peterson. Kenny Porter also said in an interview that if basically Shawn was to get a fight with Errol Spence, it would have been like illegal, and other guys in the rankings could have sued or whatever the case may be. If that's the case, why didn't it happen to Lamont Peterson? And like, this is why people are saying guys are afraid. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and say every welterweight is afraid to fight Errol Spence. No, I wouldn't say that at all. I would say at this point in time, the only actively fighting welterweight, so this doesn't include Terrence Crawford because he hasn't fought in a welterweight fight yet, the only top welterweight that has something to lose that was willing to fight Errol Spence was Lamont Peterson. He vacated his WBA regular title. Shit, you never know. If Lamont Peterson would have stuck around, hey, I don't know what the WBA would have done when it comes to the whole Keith Thurman situation. They may have elevated Lamont Peterson to the super champion if Keith Thurman stayed out of the ring long enough. I don't know. But the narrative that Shawn Porter is not afraid of Errol Spence, I call complete bullshit. Like, you can have his manager and his dad, you can have his advisors, you can have his promoters that can tell Shawn, no, you're not going to do this. You're going to do what we want you to do. Cool. And that's why I go back to me having a little brother analogy and not allowing him to fight, but he's ready and willing to. Shawn Porter has not shown any desire to fight Errol Spence. And to me, the ideal situation would be for Danny Garcia to duck Shawn Porter. This is like one of the few times that I would want a boxer to duck another boxer. Because I would like for Danny Garcia to duck Shawn Porter, and then the WBC and the IBF sanctioning unification bout similar to the IBF and the WBA fight that Klitschko and Anthony Joshua had when they unified, with Joshua being the IBF champion, similar to Errol Spence being the IBF champion, and the WBA having a vacant title, similar to the WBC having a vacant title. And these two fighters come together, and the winner becomes the unified champion. To me, that would be ideal. Like, that's the ideal situation for Nino Brown boxing. Can't speak for anybody else, but I think that's the best. I think it's the best because it would give everybody what they want. It would give, at this point in time, I'm sure that doesn't happen. Errol Spence already has a fight lined up for next month. I get it. But with the WBC and the way that they got their rules written, they have a clause written in their rules and regulations that they could do pretty much whatever they want in the best interest of boxing. So if they deemed a unification with Shawn Porter and Errol Spence was in the best interest of boxing, they definitely can make that fight happen later on this year. But that's not a hit. That's not the hit nor there. It's just one of the things. I said it would be a great thing because it can give everyone what they want. And what I mean by that is it can give Shawn Porter his opportunity to fight for the WBC. It can give Shawn Porter his opportunity to become a unified champion. It can give Errol Spence his opportunity to fight Shawn Porter. It can give Errol Spence his opportunity to become a unified champion. And it can give the fans what they want, to see a great fight, to see a unified welterweight champion. And we don't have to wait for all the pussyfooting around. So once again, when it comes to the topic of Shawn Porter, Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, the top, Manny Pacquiao, Lucas Matisse, since he's the WBA regular champion, and whoever else is a top welterweight, not including Terrence Crawford, because he hasn't fought yet, because he said he wants that smoke with Errol Spence, and I respect that. And speaking of Terrence Crawford, I'm going to get back to that point in a second. But it was, I forgot my thought. But basically, none of these top guys that I named, excluding Terrence Crawford, don't want no smoke with Errol Spence. And the proof is in the pudding. Now, Terrence Crawford, for example, is a guy that's not getting a fight with Errol Spence. Not right now, anyway. Why? Because his promoter wants him to fight Jeff Horn. But Terrence Crawford has willingly shown that he wants to fight Errol Spence. There's no ducking and dodging, no politics. Last time I checked, I'm sure that Bob Arum has a business plan mapped out for Terrence Crawford's career. But that doesn't stop Terrence Crawford from letting his fans know, letting the public know that he wants to whoop Errol Spence's ass. And that's what we want from Danny Garcia. That's what we want from Shawn Porter. We want to know that they're willing and they have a genuine interest and they possess the confidence that a Terrence Crawford has when it comes to Errol Spence. And the difference between Terrence Crawford and Danny Garcia and Shawn Porter is Terrence Crawford has a completely different promoter. He's not under the PBC banner. But Danny Garcia and Shawn Porter, they are. So a lot of the politics that exists along with the business, along with the plan and the path that they want to go, it's an additional obstacle for Terrence Crawford. But Terrence Crawford is talking like a fighter. And people keep talking about it's a business. We get that. But last time I checked, a business only thrives based off of its consumer. For example, if Nike decided that it did not want to do any more basketball shoes anymore for whatever reason, or they wanted to put it all for a certain amount of time and the consumer is saying, nah, fuck that, we want basketball shoes, and that's the majority of their consumers, do you think business is going to do good? No. And like Big Homie 78 Sports TV has said on numerous occasions, these guys aren't respecting the fight fans. They're not giving us what we want. They're forgetting that we're the consumer and we're the ones that put the money in their pockets. We pay for the pay-per-views. We watch these fights. We give them the viewerships and we make them rich. So yes, do I understand that they have a business plan? They have a certain path that they want to go. But all of that stuff is irrelevant if the consumer says, you know what? We're going to put our foot down until you give us what we want. If that happens, they're going to change their tune. All of these politics, I get it. But the politics should not override what the consumer wants. And to me, anyone that says different, I would never agree with you. Nino Brown Boxing. Shout out to the LDBC. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Peace.